Okay, I'm just going to add a few more details to this small ball that I'm trying to sort of flesh out. So I'm going to go in a little bit here with my charcoal pencil. I'm using a hard charcoal pencil. And I will just continue to sort of lay value and blend back and forth, sort of get the shape and volume that I'm looking for. So I'll do this for a little bit longer, just to sort of refine the quality of light and get exactly kind of where I want to be with it. And then I'll push on to these bottom two discs with the other part of this demo. Okay, so I finished refining all the values for this small sphere. I have a soft, gradual movement from light to dark, and then I also have a dark shadow behind it. So this is all compressed charcoal now, and this is a mixture of vine charcoal and compressed charcoal, blended pretty well to create that nice gradual progression in the value range. All right, so this is basically done. I could go back and sort of noodle at it a little bit longer and try to maybe add a little bit more darkness in the back, which would make it recede just a little bit more, and I might do that later. But for now, I'm going to move to these two to give a quick demo on just doing a quick additive fill, right, to block in form, and then show some quick reductive work on this. So let's check that out. So this is basically how we do a quick sort of additive process for building up a form. Sometimes it's referred to as creating gestural mass, but you go in and basically, apply the compressed charcoal pretty vigorously to your shape. If you were doing a still life of, let's say, the apple, you could do it in this way, and perhaps you would look at that shape and you would just mass it in, right, like that, and then of course add a little blending to it. And once you had the general shape, it would give you perhaps a better idea of what you were looking at, because not only is it occupying space in your composition, which helps give you a better idea about the scale of every other object that you would produce, but seeing this form come up immediately may be a little bit more efficient than trying to sketch the whole thing out in pencil. So once you have this, I'll blend this one too. So this is just a quick way to sort of put value in a shape or create a sort of silhouette of the object. So I have this. So of course your eraser is a drawing tool, right? So we can kind of draw out the form, right? We have that. Go in with another eraser and pull out more material. And basically just keep working it. Back and forth, and you can even go in. Okay, so I did a lot of reductive work on that darker mass that I created, and I used this large eraser, right? I went in and remove material. I used a small eraser, create some sort of smaller markings on the surface. They're overlapping. I'm getting a nice sort of play of value, and I'm also developing this as a volume. So I did that just from applying value in a mass, right? And you can do it with vine charcoal as well, right? So you see what you're trying to draw. You lay down a basic mass. Go in. It's not as dark as the compressed. Sort of get your form roughed out. And then begin erasing into the shape, looking at your lights and darks, smoothing out some of the features, adding a little bit more volume to the form. And this is the basic way to do it with vine. Okay. A little bit more here. Extend the idea a little bit, extend the form. All right. So that's pretty quick work with the second one. The first one being done in compressed charcoal was darker. It takes a little bit more time to pull up the material. But those are both nice ways to sort of get mass, get a form, get scale in a more immediate fashion than just sketching with line work and then going into the form. So you're almost working in reverse by laying the form in and then sort of putting in your details with the eraser and then adding layers. But it does help you see it in that immediate way. So here we have this one, and this is just the compressed charcoal in the disc, in the shape, right? And for this, again, just go in, you're trying to lift out the material so you can get a better sense, right, of the lights, if these are the lights on this side. And the eraser in this case is definitely a drawing tool. There we go, we're getting a little sense of that gradual value shift, right, from my light to kind of a mid-range, and then what I have not touched still works as my dark. So those are some processes for additive and subtractive techniques. For the last one, what I'm going to do is a quick wash over this, and this is how we do the wash, right? So this is soft vine charcoal. I'm going over with even pressure in one direction. You don't always have to do it this way, but this is how I'm doing it. Once I have that laid out pretty evenly, I can take a cloth and then massage the pigment into the paper. And you notice with the vine charcoal, it's very light. A lot of it gets removed and sort of spread around. If you want it darker, you can apply a little bit more pressure and add another layer. And then, of course, you can blend it with your fingers and not the cloth. And this way, more of the material will stay on the paper for that tonal wash. And I drew this circle in charcoal pencil, and because it sticks to the paper so well, I'm able to lay then the vine charcoal wash right over the top and still see my outline. All right, so I have this, and again, because the vine charcoal is so much softer and lighter and it doesn't stick into into the fiber of the paper as much as to compress. I can go back in and erase pretty easily on the surface and pull much of this up. All right, it comes out pretty well. So this is, again, is the additive with the subtractive technique working together. And in this case, I could just leave the wash in place. Maybe add a little bit of dark compressed charcoal right on top. Then we're back to this process, right? Just a gradual blending of these charcoals together to refine how the light plays across the surface and to develop the form. So this is it. Back and forth, always working from the general to the particular, using a tonal wash for the ground, using subtractive techniques with our erasers, and then additive techniques with the application of charcoal and multiple layers. All right, so that's it. I hope you got some good information from this demonstration, and I look forward to seeing your drawings. Bye-bye.